Hi there, this is Mr. Jacob Nash, and this is how you can identify the inversions of chords quickly for AP music theory, or really any music theory. So, you might want to know this phone number. If you call it, you'll get $1,000. Not really, but you still will need to know it because the numbers in this will tell you the different kinds of inversions that there are. Now you might think, how is that possible? Well, you need to separate this phone number like this. So there's really 5 different sections, if you want to say. 6, 6, 4, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 4, 2. You can separate like this also. These are the different kinds that there are for triads, so that's when there's 3 notes. And these are the ones for when there's 4 notes. So the thing that you need to do, you need to first figure out the notes in whatever chord there is. Once you do that, then you will put the notes in order. And then by this, you will figure out the inversion. Now, let's look at some examples here. Okay, so I know this isn't the most neat, but let's look at what we have here. So we have, let's look at the key signature. So we see 3 flats. There's going to be a B flat, E flat, and A flat. So this could be C minor or it could be E flat major. So you see this E flat here, you might think it's E flat major, but let's keep looking at the other notes. So we see an E flat, we might want to write that down. Okay, hopefully this pencil works. E flat. Okay, alright, now here we have another E flat for violin 2. Here, for the viola, we have a G. Or sorry, a C, not G, sorry. C, and then down here we have 2 Gs. Okay, so our notes are, we have a G, in order from lowest to highest, C, and 2 E flats. Well, that chord I know is a C minor chord. Now, this is an inversion, so now we need to put them in order. What would it be normally? Well, we know that normally it would be C, E flat, G. So what note is first? It is the G, which is the 5th. Now up here, you will use this one if the 3rd is first. Sorry, this marker is kind of messing up. If the 3rd is first, you'll use this one if the 5th is first. Okay, sorry about that. You'll use, it will be a 6 superscript of 6 if the 3rd is first. It will be 6, 4 if the 5 is first. And over here it will be 1, 3, 5, 7. Whichever is first, you use those things. So you may want to just remember this. Obviously, if the 1 was first, then you don't have to do anything. No numbers needed. So if the 5th is first, then we know it's going to be 6, 4. And this is in C minor, we can tell. C minor. And because of that, we know that a C minor chord would be the first. but since it's minor, we do a lowercase I, and we write 6, 4, and that is our chord and inversion. Okay, now over here, let's just go from bottom to top this time. So we see a D, so let's write that down, D. Now we see a F in the viola. We see a B natural in the violin too. And we see an F also for violin 1. So what might this be? Well, let's think about the notes in the C minor scale. So we see that B natural is not in the natural minor scale. But if it was, this is how we get our diminished chord. And this is a triad, even though there are 4 notes being played. I mean that there was 5 in the last one, but I mean 3 different notes. There's only 3 different notes. We have the same note, 2 Fs, but we're focusing on the D, F, and D. Well, D, if it's a triad, then it's got to be a first, third, and fifth. It couldn't be DFB, couldn't be FDB. It would have to be BDF in order for it to be a first, third, and fifth if this was the first. That isn't the case from being in the C minor scale, but they're that distance away from each other. So what would this be? Well, now that we have this in order, B is the 7th. So what do we do if this so since it's the 7th, we know that it's going to have a Roman numeral VII, and it's diminished, so we have to have a circle. But what about the number? Well, in relation to, back to what I was saying, if B was the first, D is the third, and the third is first in the chord. So we would use this, so we know there's going to be a 6 there. That is our inversion. Okay, next up we have a F right there. Oh, sorry, it changed keys. F sharp, actually. Then we have a we have a D, and we have another D. Okay, so we can tell, hopefully you should be able to tell that this could either be D major or B minor, but we can tell that it's D major. So the D, this is putting these in order, this is what it should be. For it to be, like I said, it has to be to where there's a first, third, and fifth, making this the first, which it is anyways. So this is major, and it's going to be our first. But there is an inversion, so what inversion do we have? Well, the third is first, so we have 6. Okay, now we have a F sharp. We have a sharp. We have another A sharp. And we have a C double sharp. It's kind of interesting. Well, if we look at this, if for this to be in, remember what I said, when you're putting them in order, there's got to be third and fifth apart from each other. This is already, so this really already is in order. We have a duplicate, so it's really F sharp, A sharp, and C double sharp. Now, what would that be? This is actually augmented, because if this was a normal, now this is irregular for the D major, but if for this to be an F sharp major chord, it would just need to be C sharp. It doesn't need to be C double sharp. C double sharp actually means it's a D natural, and that is sharp. It's a sharp fifth, so hopefully you remember your chords. That would be augmented. And the F sharp is the third, so we would have a 3 plus. Okay, now we are still in D major. Now we have two different A's. We have a C sharp, because there already is a sharp over there. We have an E natural, and we have a G natural. This time we do have 4 different notes. So we're going to not focus on that, we're going to focus on this. Well, luckily, like I said, it's got to be, for the triads, it has to be 1, 3, 5. Now we have to have 1, 3, 5, 7. Well, that already is in that arrangement. So we don't have to change the order, but now we just need to figure this out. Well, A is the fifth, and this is major. So it's going to be a capital V. But what is first? Well, the first is first, so we have to do a 7. And the only reason why we have a 7 and we don't just have a V is because of this G natural. If it was just this, then we wouldn't need this 7, but we do because that's there. Now over here, we have 4 different groups of 4 notes, and we're going to figure out what the inversions are here, or the chords. So we see that this could be C major or A minor. So let's just go ahead and write that here, and let's try to figure out which one it is. Well, we